Okay, sir. So shall we start, ma? అది కన్వర్ట్ చేస్తాం, సైన్తో కన్వర్ట్ చేయాలి. అది రాదు, వాడు ఇచ్చాడు, వాడు ఇచ్చినప్పుడు మనం కన్వర్ట్ చేస్తాం. మన రూల్ ఏంటి డ్యూయాలిటీలో అయితే మ్యాక్సిమైజేషన్ ఉన్నప్పుడు రూల్ ఏంటి, ప్లస్ దాన్ ఆర్ ఈక్వల్ టు ఉండాలి. వాడు ఇవ్వలేదు కాబట్టి మనం ఏం చేస్తాం, వాడు ఇస్తాం, వాళ్ళు చేయమని. Shall we start, buddies? Sir, in the last session we have gone through the basic models, formulation, duality and graph model. By using graph we can solve the solutions, and there is one more method to solve, that is simplex model, and tomorrow entire session will be on a simplex model. Okay, so see this question once, and if you can try to frame the formulation part by seeing the question. Identify, first give the information regarding objective function, what can be the constraints, try it once. Is the question clear, ma? What is the meaning of this first sentence? So he is planning for some diet plan so that the cholesterol will get reduced. Okay, he is having two diet plans and all. Okay, in that during the lunch at the office canteen he always chooses between two particular types of meals. There are two options, type A and type B. Okay, the table below lists the amount of protein, carbohydrates and vitamins, and each meal provides along with the amount of cholesterol. So by taking type A meal we are getting the cholesterol is this, whatever cholesterol we are getting from that one. Okay, and from type B meal we are having this much cholesterol part. Okay, and now he needs at least 200 grams of protein. Even if he is following the plan and all, there is a basic requirement of protein. So what is the minimum requirement of protein there, ma? At least. Okay, and next 960 grams of carbohydrates and 40 grams of vitamins for lunch. So these are the at least basic requirements for a diet. Now, over this time period, how many days he should have to type A meal, and how many days he has to have type B meal, so that the adequate amount of protein, carbohydrate and vitamins, and at the same time minimizes the cholesterol intake. His main concentration is on what, ma? minimization of cholesterol, and how many days this should be followed. Okay, so that he will get the proper diet and all. And this is information given there in table type A, that is type A meal. What are the protein part, carbohydrates part, vitamins part. In the same way for a type B meal also it is given. Now what can be the starting point for this? What will you take the decision variables? He's asking us to find what, ma? Number of days we have to follow type A meal and type B meal, so that they will be the decision variables. Okay, number of days, that is the starting point. Okay, and here we have to minimize what part, ma? Cholesterol. So objective function will be minimization of cholesterol intake. Okay, but at the end if you go with type A, how much cholesterol you are getting, ma? 60, and type B 50. So by this can you frame the objective function there? So shall we do it parallelly, ma? Start, ma. So you are also having the booklet of questions. Everyone is having that now. If you are not having, you can take their one from it. It is on the table itself. Not sufficient. Okay, so if there is a possibility, share, ma. If you are having two booklets, give the other guys who are not having for temporary basis. Once it is done, we can see. Sir, one more basic point. In the case of our LPP, you should be thorough with the question. If you are perfect with the question, you are safe. Okay. So let us assume. Start the assumption, basic assumption there. Can you close that one now? So this is starting point. What is starting point, ma? X1 and X2 be the number of days for type A and type B meal. Okay. What is the next most important aspect, ma? Objective function. Sir, for the sake of your convenience, you need not draft the table. Just in the question itself, basically you can add that parts. Just for rough sake, I'm telling, ma, see that part also. What are the limitations given there, buddies? Regarding protein. Protein, how much, ma? 200. What about our carbohydrates, ma? 960. And what about vitamins, ma? 40 grams. Okay. And what is the word given there, ma? At least. He needs at least means minimum requirement. Sometimes he can take more than that also, no issue. So as he given that part, we have mentioned them. The objective function is Z. Maximization or minimization? Minimization. In brackets, you can write, ma. minimization of cholesterol intake. So if this part is done, what is the next part there, ma? Constraints. What are the constraints we are having, ma? Protein, there is one constraint, carbohydrates and vitamins. These are the constraints. So the first constraint, what will be the equation for the first constraint, ma? 8x1 plus 16 x2 less than or equal to or greater than or equal to? Greater than or equal to 200. This is the first constraint we are having. And with respect to what, ma? It is regarding constraint with respect to proteins. So what is the next constraint, ma? So carbohydrates, what will be the equation, ma? 60 x1 plus 40 x2 greater than or equal to how much, ma? 960 and what is the third constraint we are having, ma? Third constraint is regarding vitamins. Two x1 plus 2y2 sorry 2x2 greater than or equal to 40 with respect to vitamins. Sir, I am using semicolons and all. You write in a full form, ma. Okay. Sir, can we simplify these constraints, ma? Any chance? Or we can also write as what, ma? Can you simplify the first constraint? x1 plus 2x2 greater than or equal to 200 divided by 85, 25. 25. So that is our, or you can write as alternative also, no issues. And what about, is it clear, ma? How you got that one, ma? By dividing entire equation by 8. And what is the second equation chance there? Simplify it to the maximum possible extent by 20. We can divide by 20 now. Entire equation can be divided by 20. 3x1 plus 2x2 greater than or equal to 48. That is the second constraint. And last constraint, okay, these are the three constraints. Either you can go with that presentation or this presentation, anything is fine. But if you are simplifying for graph and all, if they ask you to solve, it will be easy. Sir, what about other part, ma? Last part, in the case of formulation, the last part is non-negative factors. x1 comma x2 greater than or equal to 0. Sir, is there any requirement for us to solve the solution or not? See the question once, ma, and give the information. What is he asking us to do in the question? Sir, at the last sentence, minimize his cholesterol intake. For that, he needs some sort of formulation. Okay, use graphical method. Last sentence, is it clear? So by using graphical method and all, we are normally doing what more? We are finding the solution. Okay, here how many equations we got in the constraints more? 3 equations. Okay, so and the non-negative factors also can be taken as equations, but even if you solve and all, no use. X1 greater than equal to 0, x2 greater than or equal to 0. So straight away, shall we solve the graph part for this? That to solve the equations, what are the basic rules, ma? First, convert that inequality into equality. So the equation will become x1 plus 2x2 is equal to 25. Sir, in place of x1 and x2, you can take x and y, that is up to you. No issues, okay? So if x1 is equal to 0, what will be the equation, ma? X2 is equal to, so what is the point there, ma? 0 comma 12.5. That is the first point. Now in the similarly, we can solve the second part also. That is, for solving, what is the basic step, ma? Again, equality. Is that part clear, ma? Sir, if you are having any doubt in this part and all, you can ask immediately. Sir, in this case, what is the value of x1, ma? As you know the points and all, what is the next part there, ma? Graph. Then how to take the scale? Can you identify any logic there, ma? Any base so that we can clear all the points? 5. If you are taking 5, you can cover 20 and 25. If you are taking 4, you can cover 20, 16, 24. Maximum covering and all, it will fine. You can take 5 also, no issue at all. So mark those areas clearly. Okay. I'm going with a scale of 4. Then what is the first point, ma, there? 0, 12.5. 0, 12.5. 8 can be the chance. Zero, 12.5. What is the next point, ma? 25, 0. Write the equation for that line, ma. What is the equation for that line? X1 plus 2x1 to x2 is equal to 25. Next points 0, 24 is 0, 24, and other point 16, 0. Sir, are these two lines done by everyone, ma? If these two lines are done, three x1 plus 2x2 is equal to 48. So what are the other coordinates there, ma? 0, 20, 20, 0. X1 plus x2. So now can you identify the area covered by all the lines? Sir, till here everyone done, ma? Clear with the points and all? Okay. Sir, can you tell the equations, inequality equations and all there? What are the inequality first equations? X1 plus 2x2 greater than or equal to 25. Sir, when it is less than or equal to, it is towards the origin. Okay. When it is greater than, what does that mean, ma? Away from the origin. So we need to represent that. I will represent first, then you can do it. Okay. After completing entire part, you can. So automatically the direction is in this way. Okay. And what about next equation, ma? What about next equation? 3x1 plus 2x2 is equal to 48. That is in the form of equality. But inequality greater than or equal to. Again, it is away from the origin. So again, it is going away from the origin. And what about next equation, ma? So it is also going away from the origin. But what is the common area? Can you tell the common area for all these lines, ma? This entire area is the common area, no? This entire region it is going up. That is a common area basically. Or else like this. Okay. Now how many coordinates are there for how many corners are there for that point? How many points? Is the region clear, ma? Is the region clear now? If the region is clear, for our just knowledge and all, we are mentioning the arrows. Okay, this is the entire region. Now you mention with arrows. You mention in your part with arrows. So now, can you mention the points there, ma? What are the points covered by that region only? First one is 0, 24. Next point, we do not know the exact values and all. So we are mentioning that region, this one area. And next, here, and 25, 0. So what are the total points, ma, there? 4 points. Sir, we are having the idea of two extreme point values, but other point values and all we have to find. Okay. So totally how many points there are, ma? In this case, let us represent them with A, B, C, D. What is the value of A, ma? First point. This is A, B, C, and here it is D. Sir, A value is 0, 24. What about B value, ma? Is it clearly identified? We need to find it because it is intersection of two lines. What about next C, ma? Same with the C also. But D value 25, 0. Sir, how to get the value of B, ma? It is intersection of two lines. What are those two lines, ma? So if we solve 3x1 plus 2x2 is equal to 48 and x1 plus x2 is equal to 20, you get the value of B coordinate. Next, what about C coordinate, ma? C. How to find C value? x1 plus x2, x1 plus x2 is equal to 20, and x1 plus 2x2 is equal to 25. If we solve them, you will get the values of C coordinate. Shall we solve them? So 3x1 plus 2x2 is equal to 48, and x1 plus x2 is equal to 20. If we take this as 1 and this as 2, sir, is there a requirement to modify the equation number 1? 1, is it required? Right away write the equation 3x1 plus 2x2 is equal to 48. Sir, should we modify the second equation? So multiply with a 2. What will be the result? 2x1 plus 2x2 is equal to 40. x1 is equal to 8. So now, what is the other value of x2? Just substitute in any equation, you will get the values. So in 2 equation, if you substitute 8 plus x2 is equal to 20, that implies x2 is equal to 12. So what are the b coordinates? B coordinates 8, 12. Now how to find the C coordinates? Which 2 equations should be solved? Solving x1 plus x2 is equal to 20, and what is the other equation there? x1 plus 2x2 is equal to 25. Take it as 3, take it as 4. Should we modify third equation? Should we modify the third equation? Sir, how to solve and all? Is it clear now? Solving equations and all. So 3 into 2, we get how much more? 2x1 plus 2x2 is equal to 40. And fourth equation, x1 plus 2x2 is equal to 25. What are the values, ma? There x1 is equal to how much? What is 15. So by substituting that in the first equation number 3, that is 15 plus x2 is equal to 20. So x2 is equal to how much? 5. What are the coordinates for C? 15, 5. Is it clear? It is clear. What are the total coordinates? Just fill the space there. Plot the points in the graph. B value 8, 12. And C value 15, 5. Sir, what is our target? Z maximization or Z minimization? Z minimization. So at all the values of A, B, C, D, try to find the value of Z. What is that equation, ma? It's t x1 plus 50 or 40, ma? 50. What are the values there, ma? For A, what is the value, ma? 12. For B, 1000. For C, 11,050. D, 1500. So Z value is minimum at which point, ma? 1080 is a minimum value. So write the sentence there. Z is minimum at what is the conclusion of this point, ma? Sir, fine. Z is 8, 12 is fine. What is the conclusion sentence there? X1 is regarding type A meal, X2 is regarding type B, and 8 is the number of days for type A, and 12 is the number of days for type B. So write the sentence, ma. To reduce the cholesterol intake, to reduce the cholesterol intake, to reduce the cholesterol intake, type A meal should be taken for 8 days. Type B meal should be taken for 12 days. Is it clear, ma? This part? Sir, shall we have a quick recall of this problem? Area where we need to give importance. Mainly in the question, when you are seeing the question itself, you may not be in a position to identify the objective function initially, at the very first instance. So here, what is the limiting factor there, ma? Mainly regarding cholesterol. He is talking regarding cholesterol. How many days consumption, so that intake should be minimum. Okay, and after that part, he has given the constraints also. What are the constraints? That is regarding protein, carbohydrates, and vitamins. So, sir, there is no strict rule that you have to take x1 and x2. You can also take a and b, x and y, that is up to you. Okay. Now the objective function is clear. Sir, how many days I have to consume, so that the amount of calorie should be 60. And regarding that cholesterol, again, type B meal, it is 50. So that this share and all, how many days I have to do it. Okay. So these are the constraints. And for solving the answer and all, to get the values of days and all, we have to solve these equations. The basic rule is that based on the number of equations, number of solutions may change. Okay. Sir, here how many constraints are there, ma? 3 constraints. And in brackets, you write the content. Basically, straight away writing the equations won't be appropriate. So write the reason. What is the constraint meant for? Okay. And it can also be simply summarized or simplified as this part. Okay. Once this part is done, what is the next part, ma? Non-negative factors. Whatever assumption we have taken as relation variables, they are taken here itself. Okay. And next, so we solved all the three equations and we got two coordinates for every equation. Once two coordinates are done, what is the next one, ma? Plotting the graph. Okay. Sir, if it is less than or equal to, it is towards origin. If it is greater than or equal to, it is away from the origin. So we have mentioned the area. And for this region, we are having how many points, ma? 4 points. 2 points are clearly identified and 2 points are not identified. For that reason, we are solving the straight lines. If we solve the straight lines where they are intersecting, then we get the point. Okay, so that is done here. And finally, it is minimization. As it is a minimization and all, minimum value should be taken. At which point, ma, it is 1080, that is at a B point. Is it clear, ma? If it is clear. Sir, if it is clear, go with the next question, ma. Question number 5. Straight away is asking us to find a graphically. Okay, and you need not go with a formulation because formulation is already given. But if you are writing, that is up to you. What is information given there, ma? First part is regarding the objective function. What is the objective, ma? M maximization is equal to 50x1 plus 60x2. That is the objective function. What are the constraints, ma? 2x1 plus x2 less than or equal to 300. 3x1 plus 4x2 less than or equal to 509. 4x1 plus 7x2 less than or equal to 812. And again, non-negative factors are clear. x1 greater than or equal to 0, x2 greater than or equal to 0. If that part is done, go with the graph. Sir, how to find the graph, basically? So these inequalities are converted into equalities. Is it okay with this linear programming, ma? Graphical method and all? And my humble request, do by yourself. Do not look into your fellow buddies. If you are having doubts, you can ask. Are all the points done, ma? What are the first equation points? And second one? And for the second equation? And for the next equation? Sir, approximate, you can take 170 or 160, same, no issues. Okay. What is the other point there, ma? 0, 116, 203, 0. These are the points. What is the next step, ma? Graph. By seeing the points, which scale pattern you need to follow? Any better idea? With scale pattern 50. If you are taking 50, you can cover 300 or 150. Others may not be covered. So nearby, there is chance now because 203 is near to 200. So we can take that scale. Shall we? Your wish. If you are going with any other alternative, also no issues. Okay. What is the first point there, ma? And the next point? Join those 2 points. And what is the equation for that line? 2x1 plus x2 equal to 11. So what are the other coordinates there for second equation? 0, 127.25. Where can be chance, ma? By this, can we identify the area? Somewhere here. And what is the other point there, ma, for that one? 170, 0. What is the equation for that line? 3x1 4x2 is equal to 509. Are we having the third equation? So what is the third equation there, ma? 0, 116. Two not 3, 0. Now, can you identify the area towards which region are they covering? Less than or equal to or greater than or equal to? It is less than or equal to. So towards origin. So can you identify the common area, ma? What is the common area? This entire area will be the common area. And what are the points for that common area, ma? 0, 116. For that, let us mention the letter A. And here it is one more intersection point. For that, it is B, C, and D. So totally how many points, ma? Including the origin, 5 points. What are the values of A, ma? 0, 116. What are the points for B? Is it clearly identified or should be solved? Should be solved. What about C, ma? Even should be solved. What about D? 150, 0. Sir, for B, which lines should be solved, ma? What are the two lines to be solved? 3x1 plus 4x2 is equal to 509, and what is the other line to be solved, ma? 4x1 plus 7x2 is equal to 812. These two lines should be solved for B. What about C, ma? 3x1 plus 4x2, 509, and 2x1 plus x2 is equal to 300. So solve them, ma. And how we are solving, is it clear, ma? Just equalizing some part so that it can be eliminated by subtracting. And what is the value there? Therefore, x2 is equal to how much, ma? 80. And what about x1, buddies? For x1 value, so by substituting the x2 value in any one of the equations, we can get x1. What is the b value, ma, finally? 63, 80. Sir, are you okay with this, ma? Till here, whatever we done, are you okay with that? Anyone is having any doubt in these areas? So to get the value of c coordinate, we have to solve these two equations. So what is the value of x2 ma? How much? X2 value 23 point. What about x1 ma? 1 exact value or any fraction? 138.2. So C coordinates are 23.6, 138.2 comma 23.6. So totally we got all the points. So mention on the graph ma. Please plot those B and C on the graph. What is the value of B ma? B points 63 comma 80. What about C ma? 138.2 comma 13.23.6. So now what is our target? Minimization or maximization? Minimization or maximization? Maximization. So what is that value? Z maximization is equal to 50x1, 60x2. Sir, at 0, you need not find, you will get the same 0 value. At A, B, find the values of Z maximum. The Z value in the case of A, what is the value? 15 to 0 plus 16 to 116. What is the value? 61, 696. What is the value? 79. Much more? 8. $7,000. Sir, we need Z max or Z mini. So maximum value is at, that is 8326. Write the conclusion. Z maximum at so till here if it is done. Write some note points regarding graph. So what are the regions and all you should be in a position to identify. So shall we write that concept? Graph related concept. Okay. There can be chances for exam also. Some concept. Everyone done till here, ma? Done by everyone. So till now, whatever we have done, is there anyone having any doubt regarding those graphs and all? Any information? Any doubts? Sir, mainly in the case of linear programming problem, graphical method will be very good for you. Even though you are feeling it is a lengthy process and all, and you are actually solving by yourself, it will be done by short span of time. Even when I gave the information earlier, now n number of guys are doing that by self. Okay, before my answers, you are being done. Okay, so basic part, once you are getting the idea and all, it will be very easy. Clear? So have a quick recall. So basically, in the case of linear programming problem, what are the basic parts, ma? First, what, ma? Formulation. In the case of formulation, what are the steps we are having, ma? Table, if it is given, fine. If not given, we form a table. Second one, decision variables. We go with an assumption. After that assumption is done, what is the next part, ma? Objective function. What can be the objective function? Maximization or minimization? Maximization of profit, minimization of a cost. That will be straight away given in the question itself. Okay. And what about how we represent the objective function? We represent z as a letter basically. Okay. You can write z max or maximization of z. Okay. In that it write what is the objective, profit maximization and all. If you are mentioning so, it will be fine. Okay. And what about next one, constraints? Sir, what are the limiting factors? What are the restrictions there available? We are mentioning the form of equations. That with equality or inequalities? Inequalities. It can be less than or equal to, or it can be greater than or equal to. Okay. Once this part is done, what is the last part there, ma? Non-negative factors. Whatever decision variables we have taken, at least they will be positive or zero, but never less than zero. That's the point. So after that, we have gone through which method, ma? Dual model. Sir, dual model. Sir, whatever formulation we are doing, it is known as primal model. What is that, ma? Primal. Primal. Sir, once primal part is given, by converting into other scenario, that will be the dual model. Sir, if your target is minimization of cost in the primal model, in the dual model, what will be the objective, ma? Maximization of profit. Or else in the primal model itself, he gave the objective that maximization of profit. The dual model objective will be minimization of cost. Whatever symbols given there, if it is less than or equal to, it will be converted into greater than or equal to. And one more point, if the objective function is maximization, how the constraint should be less than or equal to. If any constraint is given in other alternative that is greater than or equal to, we just convert it. How to convert, ma? By multiplying with a negative sign, we can convert. That's the basic part. Okay. And if your objective function is minimization, how the constraint should be, ma? Greater than or equal to. If not, we convert it. Once this part is done, whatever profit part there will convert into the constraints, and whatever the cost part in the constraints given will become the objective part. Okay, how to convert and all clear now? Once dual model is done, graphical part has been started by us. Sir, when we use graphical method, only if there are two variables, we go with the graphical method. But if there are more than two variables, we go with what, ma? Simplex method. Okay. So basically simplex method can be used when there are two variables also, two or more. That's a part. In the graphical method, formulation, if it is given, fine. Okay. What is the next phase, ma? Inequalities are converted into equalities. Whatever constraints available there, we convert them into equalities and we solve that. Once for every equation, we get 2 points and we plot them on the graph. Once the area is covered. Sir, in the case of area and all, I will mention the important points now. That you can note in the graph book part and all. Sir, if it is less than or equal to, what is the symbol meant, ma? Towards the origin. Direction is towards the origin. Okay. And if it is away from the origin, that is greater than or equal to, it will be away from the origin. Once the graph part is done, the common area covered by the point should be identified. Okay. After that, we can solve the points if they are not identified clearly. That's the point. So of all these points, if they are done, what is the next step, ma? Z maximization or Z minimization. If Z maximization is our objective, what we will do, ma? Basically, all the points are mentioned in that objective function and maximum will be identified. That's the point. Clear to here? So let us go with the note points for graph, ma. Right, this first part there, but is Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4. Any knowledge? quadrant 1 Q1, quadrant 2 Q2. There are the points done, ma? Normally in the first zone, that is this area, the value of x and y will be always positive. And what about quadrant 2, ma? X will be negative, y will be positive. And in the Q3 zone, both x and y will be negative. And in the Q4 zone, x will be positive, y will be negative. This will be used for us in the case of MCQs. Once this entire part is done, we will solve the MCQs also immediately after concept, then it will be efficient. Okay. Is this first part clear regarding graphs? Okay, this is important for us. And next. So if a graph is given like this, so if a graph is given like this, basically, we are having a habit of solving the inequality by using the equation. That is, in this case, how will solve? Basically, 2x plus 3y is equal to 30. And if we go with assumption first one, x equal to 0, then what is the value of y? 10. The first point is 0 comma 10. If y equal to 0, then x value will be how much? 15. So automatically 15 comma 0. Okay. And now we are plotting these points. If you plot these points, how can be the equation? What can be the line? Through 0 comma 10 and other one 15 comma 0. Right away I'll get this line basically. Sir, this line represents what? 2x plus 3y is equal to 30. But in the question, what is the symbol given there? Less than or equal to. When it is less than or equal to, this will be towards the origin basically. But even the same equation, if it is given greater than or equal to, it will be away from the origin. Okay. But however, in this case of second one, that is when it is less than or equal to, sir, we are not going beyond the origin. Why? What is the reason? X comma y are greater than or equal to 0. That is the reason why we are not going to the other parts. Okay. So only this area is covered, not all the things. That is important. When it is less than or equal to, it is towards the origin. And here one more point, sir, x value and y value are positive or negative? Always positive. In this scenario, when values are always positive, they follow the basic rule. Write the rules there. Write this equation once. Everyone is having pencil and all, basically, or else a different color pen, so that we can show on the same graph itself what is the area and all. Okay. The maximum by tomorrow we will close a linear programming problem, because one of the methods which is important and that is pending is only simplex. If that is done, maximum done. Okay. And my humble request, from exam point of view, when there is a time constraint, you should be in a position to decide whether you should attempt the question or not. That is for sure. Basically, in the case of this scenario, graphical method, it's easy. But in the case of simplex method, there will be different ways. It is easy, but n number of process. So my humble request, in the case of main exam, if you are free, having a free mind, then only go with a simplex method. It's easy, but for sure it's easy. Okay. And in the case of linear programming also, you can get score easily, provided you are practicing regularly. Okay. Sir, is this clear, ma? So what is this line representing, ma? 2x plus 3y is equal to 30. Okay. If the equation is 2x plus 3y greater than or equal to 30, what is the area, ma? This will be the area. Okay. Right there, ma, in that point itself. What is the other area representing, ma? 2x plus 3y less than or equal to 30. If it is done, done. So again, I'm asking, is there anyone having issue with this graphical method? Then the main thing is that if you are plotting the points with the help of equal measurement, the diagram or graph will be very legible. Okay. And this is clear now. What is the area representing there basically? Sir, we are taking only that area, not all the areas there. The reason is that x and y greater than or equal to 0. Okay. So one last question for the graphical method. Done. Then we shall go with the other problems. So shall we take some small break? Small break. Okay. Take 5 minutes break, ma, and we shall start again. And before going to the break and all, is there any difference here? What is the difference identified by you? Sir, if they are asking us to find a dual problem, then you should convert basically. But are they asking us to any information, ma? Straight away I mentioned regarding graphical method now. When it is mentioned really graphical method and all, you need not think of changing the symbols and all. Okay. If they ask a dual model, you convert it. Otherwise, straight away go with the graphical method. Okay. Take break. After that, we shall solve this one and we shall go with the normal problems. Do not take much break, ma. 5 minutes. Sir, anyone tried this one? Ma? Started? What had started? Sir, one more thing, ma. In the SCM, entire SCM, the question will be lengthy. Okay, but once you start the answer, it will be easy. Question will be around 2 to 3 pages sometimes. Sometimes 2 to 3 pages max, or one full sheet. By seeing the question, my humble request is that do not fear. Just it is easy, solve it. Okay. So in this one, he has given straight away the objective function and the constraints are given and non-negative factors as usual they are given. Sir, what is the specialty of this question, ma? This entire question, the difference point is this. Basically, when we are solving, we are having same pattern style, but it's a different one. Okay. And it is not in your book. Just this is extra question. Not that much important, but if you are having the questions and all, you should not face a trouble in main exam for that reason. And by this day end itself, graphical method should be okay for you. Okay, na? So totally how many problems are done regarding graphical method till now? Till now, 3 and additional question 4. Totally how many more? 4. 4 or 3, but totally 4. Okay. So basically, what is the basic thing we will do regularly? Solving these 3 equations. Okay. So now 2x plus y is equal to 18. If x is equal to 0, then y is equal to 18, that is 0 comma 18. If y is equal to 0, then x equal to 9, that is 9 comma 0. That is regarding the first equation. Here we are having all the 6 points. So with these 6 points, can we plot the graph? Can we? Sir, how to take the points? To cover all the points, which is better way to calculate or take the points? Better way to take more? Or if you are taking 3 series, basically 3 will be covered, 12 we can cover, 9 we can cover, 18 we can cover. Remaining numbers approximate nearby. So these 2 are the remaining numbers, they are nearby. So let us take which series, ma? 3 series. So now what are the points? Ma? First points 0, 18 and 9, 0. What is the other point? Ma? 0, 12, 12, 0. What is the next point? Ma? 0, 34. Done till here. So what are the lines? Are you representing them? Ma? If you are representing the lines and all, it will be good for you. Sir, what is the first line equation? Ma? So for example, the first line equation is 0, 18, 9, 0. 2x plus y is equal to 18. What is the second equation representation? Ma? X plus y is equal to 12. What is the other equation? Ma? 3x plus y is equal to 34. This 3x plus y is equal to 34. Whereas the space is not sufficient, I'm writing there. Okay, so totally 3 equations are represented. Fine. Now, which area is our area or covered area? Identification of area that is covered is important here. Sir, first equation, is it less than or equal to or greater than or equal to? Greater than or equal to. What is that first equation? 2x plus y greater than or equal to 18. Away from the origin. So normally I will plot it. Just you see, then you can do it afterwards. 2x plus y. Is this the direction of that line, ma? Okay. Next, what about the other line, ma? Regarding the next equation, x plus y greater than or equal to 12. Same. That is also it is also in the same direction to upward region. And what about next one, ma? X 3x plus y less than or equal to 34. Less than or equal to towards origin. So what is that line, ma? It is going in this direction, but not into origin. So can you conclude any common area for all these three lines? What is that common area, ma? What is the common area, ma? Can we take this area as a common area? So it's satisfying all the conditions which you gave us. Okay, so this region covers every part. So even if I'm going some extra part and all, you do not mention such things. Whatever zone, is that clear, ma? Shape and all. Can you identify the points there? Sir, this is one point here, here, and here it is. Totally, how many points are covered, ma? 4 points. But we knew the value of 2 points, but other points are not known. Sir, what are those points represented, ma? How they are represented? So let us represent here it is A, B, C, and here it is D. Totally 4 points. Sir, can you tell the value of A, ma? 0, 34. What about B, ma? 0, 18. But C is not known, D is not known. How to find the value of C and D, ma? In this case, sir, for finding the value of C, what are the equations to be solved? Which equations? C point is arising because of intersection of 2x plus y is equal to 18 and x plus y is equal to 12. Is it 12 or 20, ma? Not 12. What about C point, ma? D point? Sir, D point is arising because of intersection of 3x plus y is equal to 34 and x plus y is equal to 12. So if we solve these two equations, we get the value of C and D. So 2x plus y is equal to 18, x plus y is equal to 12. So just as a sake of rough, I am doing here, but you do in a proper order. So what is the value here, ma? X equal to 6. So automatically y is equal to 6. X comma y will be 6 comma 6. C point value is nothing but 6 comma 6. What about D point, ma? 3x plus y is equal to 34. X plus y is equal to 12. X is equal to 20. X equal to 11. Y is equal to 11. So D point will be 11 comma 1. Sir, what is our target here, ma? Minimization or maximization? Minimization or maximization, ma? Z maximization. Therefore, Z maximum is equal to 50x plus 30y. So at A, what is the value of A, ma? So at A, what will be the value? 1020. And for B, how much more? 480. Maximum at A 0, 34. Write the conclusion, ma. Z maximum at A 0, 34. That is 1020. Is it done? And if this is done, the graphical method is clear, ma? The maximum graphical method will be this scenario. Maximum. Okay. In the class session, that is tomorrow, I will try to go with the simplex model and I will complete entire part. Okay. But before that, see this question once. For how many marks, ma? So the same question is available in your booklet at the end. Last question. Previous papers questions, it is given there. So if you want, you can see there also. Okay. And the booklet share to you and all is with answer, no? Okay, whenever you are trying to solve a question, do not go with the answers. If you are going with the answers, go on. Okay. So is the question clear? Done with reading or still reading? If reading, do it. Try to do it once. Just do it by yourself. And one more thing, when you are solving a question of LPP or whatever be the problem, mainly in the part B, think that you are in that position. You are in that position. So, for example, in this case, what is it regarding whom they are dealing with? Bank. So, if you are the owner of the bank, what is your main target? View from that point of view, basically. Then the answer will be very easy to. Okay. Done with reading? It is a repetitive question. It is there for at CMA inter level. Is there linear programming for OM part at inter level? It is there now, and you are aware of the topic now? Okay, it is the question from inter book, and it repeated for CMA final exam. Okay, so this is important. Mainly when they are asking a formulation problem, they will concentrate on this type of questions. Okay, sir, ICA has a different answers for this question. Okay, different way of answering and all, but I will give an answer that is a common for every ways, and it is perfect one. So first you try by yourself. In rough, if you are trying, it will be more effective. Sir, anyone good at only practicals? That is practical subject. Sir, మాకు ప్రాక్టికల్ మాత్రమే ఇష్టం అన్న వాళ్ళు ఉన్నారమ్మా? లేదు సార్, మాకు థియరీ మాత్రమే ఇష్టం అన్న వాళ్ళు ఉన్నారమ్మా? థియరీ సబ్జెక్ట్స్ ఫైనల్లో థియరీ సబ్జెక్ట్స్ కొన్ని ఉంటాయి కాబట్టి. సో దెర్ ఆర్ ఫ్యూ సబ్జెక్ట్స్ ఇన్ ద ఫైనల్ నా. Sir, is there any guy who is having only love with practical subjects or only love with only theory subjects? Anybody's? No? Sir, I am not asking that any serious question. I am asking a basic question. Only practical. Uma, can you raise your hands? One buddy there and here. Two buddies. Any other buddies? Practical. Okay. Can you raise fully, ma? Practicals. Only these two guys are loving with the practical part. Remaining buddies, both, either both or a theory. So I am into the category of only theory. Okay, basically. But in reality, I felt that theory is a tough thing. Basically, but practical is really easy if you know the logic and all. You can do it very fine. But theory and all, we have to remember everything. Okay, by heart చేయటం అనేది అలవాటు ఉంటే బెటర్ ఆప్షన్. లేదు సార్ అంత మెమరీ లేదు, షార్ట్ మెమరీ అనుకుంటే ఏది బెస్ట్ అమ్మా? ప్రాక్టికల్ సబ్జెక్ట్స్ చాలా బెస్ట్. అలా అని చెప్పేసి డు నాట్ నెగ్లెక్ట్ థియరీ. ఓకే, బికాస్ ద బేసిక్ లాజిక్ ఈస్ దట్ వెన్ యూ ఆర్ గోయింగ్ విత్ ద పేపర్ మెయిన్ ఎగ్జామ్, ద టైమ్ టేకెన్ టు సాల్వ్ ఎ ప్రాక్టికల్ పార్ట్ విల్ బి a little bit more when compared to theory part. So theory you can write with your own language if you are having the idea. Okay, so do not skip theory part also. Mainly theory also will save you definitely. Okay, sir, keep those things aside. Go with the question, ma. Is the question clear to you? If it is clear, so how to start? Any idea? Sir, table way of presentation of the constraints is okay for few questions, but if it is not okay for others, you can leave it. You can solve straight away if you are having alternative. Okay, sir, here the question is regarding whom, ma? Which bank, ma? Okay, some bank. Okay. Next, they are formulating a loan policy involving maximum amount of 600 million. Maximum, how much they can give as a loan, ma? Can they give 601 millions? 601 millions. For example, they are having good number of customers and they are asking for 620 millions. Is that possible? Not possible. As it is not possible, it is one constraint. Okay, and next, table below shows give the relevant types of loans are not recoverable and produce no interest revenue. Even bad debts information is also given. So this is the bad debts information. This is the amount of income we are getting from the loan. Okay, next, to meet the competition from others banks, the following policy guidelines have been set. At least 40%. How much, ma? At least 40% of the funds must be allocated to agriculture and commercial loans. Okay, at least 40% means even more than that also they can give. There is no issue. Minimum is 40%. Okay, and next, funds allocated to housing must be at least 50% of all the loans given to personal, car, housing. And the overall bad debts on all loans may not exceed 0.06 percentage. These are the probabilities given to us basically. Okay, by seeing these probabilities and constraints, can you frame the formulation? Is he asking us to formulate or to solve graphically? Only formulation. And it is given in your final attempt for 6 marks. Okay, so when you are getting for 6 marks and all, it will be very good for you to get score. So can you start the question? Any decision variables? What are the products there for a bank? Types of loans given to them are the products. What are those? Personal, car, housing, agriculture, commercial. So we start with that assumption basically. So if you take with x1 and y1, x1, x2, x3, x4, x5. These are the relation variables. Sir, now straight away, what is your objective? If you're a bank, what is your objective? Sir, my main business is to give loan. And in return, what I'm getting? Interest. So what is my objective? Interest minimization or maximization? Maximization of interest. But straight away he has given one point regarding bad debts. Sir, this part of bad debt, is it recoverable or non-recoverable? If it is not recoverable, then only we use the word what? Bad debts. So this is the interest amount and this is the bad debt. So if you deduct these two, we can get the objective function. Is it clear, ma? And regarding the constraints, we have already gone through it. Shall we start, ma? Sir, whatever question you are writing, go with the numbers. This is the last question, na? So give the attempt number. Is the attempt number given there, ma? June 2023. J2023. This is regarding the decision variables. So or else you can also write x1 be the loan for personal, x2 be the car. You can write separately also, no issues. Is it done till here, ma? Sir, before writing the objective function, we need to solve it first, so that we can summarize the objective function straight away. What he has given, ma? Interest amount and bad debts. So if you are deducting interest, what is, then you will get what, ma? Whatever maximization and all. So how to frame it, buddy? This is for your knowledge. You do not write in exam basically. For our knowledge. Okay. So Z maximum is equal to how much, ma? Sir, X1 is a loan given to which purpose, ma? Personal. X1 is a loan given for a personal. But here the interest is how much, ma? 17. But probability, sir, probability and all, basic rule is that the sum of probability should be equal to 1. Is it equal to 1, ma? Check it once. As it is a bad debt portion, as a bad debt portion, balance is equivalent to that is fine. Normally probability will be 1, but here it is given as a percentages. So 17 minus 0.1. Okay. So how much is the case, ma? This is 0.17 percentage, and 10 is also a percentage. That is regarding X1. Is it clear? And now X2, what is the point there, ma? 14 percentage, that is 0.14 minus 0.07 plus X3. What is the percentage, ma? X3 11, 0.11 minus 0.05 plus X4 0.10 minus 0.08 and X5 0.13 minus 0.06. So can you simplify the value of Z, ma? 0.07 X1 plus 0.07 X2 plus 0.06 X3 plus 0.02 X4 plus 0.07 X5. Write the conclusion, ma. Take down the heading objective function. Sir, is it clear with this point, ma? What are we doing, ma? Interest portion, we are segregating the bad debts portion. That is the final net amount we are receiving from the loan components. So therefore, objective function. Objective function Z maximization is equal to 0.07 x1 plus 0.07 x2 plus 0.06 x3 plus 0.02 x4 plus 0.07 x5. So this is the objective for us. And what are the constraints, ma? Constraints here in this case. Sir, what is the first constraint we are having in this? Sir, is the objective function done by everyone? Is it done, ma? If it is done, if it is done, next, what is the first constraint, ma? Regarding question by seeing the question. Funds. What is the maximum fund I am having? 600. So that is one constraint, no? Sir, I have mentioned x1, x2 till x5 are the amount of loan given. So maximum how much I can give, ma? 600. So is it greater than or equal to or less than or equal to? Less than or equal to. I cannot give 601 million. I can give only 600 million or less than that. So the first constraint is x1 plus x2 less than or equal to 600. Write in brackets, no? This is the first constraint. And what is the other constraint, ma? What is the other constraint from the table? To meet the competition from other banks, the following policy guidelines have been set. At least 40% of the funds must be allocated to agriculture and commercial loans. At least total funds 40% should be given to whom? At least 40%, he said. So we can give either minimum this or more than that also. So and what about the other loans, ma? Agriculture and commercial. So X4 plus X5. What is the symbol? Less than or equal to or greater than or equal to? Sir, at least I said. Okay, if you are giving more amount also, it's a fine. Is it clear with the second point? With the second constraint, write the narration there. Constraint regarding the amount of loan of agriculture and commercial purpose. Constraint with respect to agriculture and commercial purpose. So two constraints are done. What is the other constraint, ma? What is the other constraint regarding? At least 50% of all the loans given to personal car housing. Regarding which loan, ma? Regarding housing loan, he is giving information. Sir, housing loan is represented with the letter X3. X3, no? X3. X3. Regarding what other loans, ma? Personal car housing, that is X1 plus X2 plus X3. What is the symbol to be used there? Greater than or equal to? And what is the percentage, ma? The percentage. This is the third constraint. Constraint with respect to what type of loan, ma? Housing loan. So write that in brackets, ma. Constraint with respect to housing loan. Is it clear? What is the last constraint? Is there any other constraint, ma, left over there? Sir, overall bad debt should not exceed how much, ma? 0.06. Okay. Sir, individual bad debts are given, and with this part we can calculate the overall part. That should be not exceed. What is the symbol? Greater than or equal to or less than or equal to? Should not exceed 0.06. What does that mean? It should be either equal to or less than that. Sir, what are the first case bad debt, ma? For X1, what is the bad debt there, buddy? 0.01 or 1? X1 plus 0.07, X2 plus 0.05, X3, 0. 0.08, 0.06x5 regarding 0.06. Is it greater than or equal to or less than or equal to? Which symbol should be used there? Less than or equal to. Write this constraint. Constraint number 4. Sir, this 0.06 should be applied on what? Entire loan amount. So entire loan amount can be x1 plus x2 plus x3 x4 plus xy. Done. So if it is done, answer done, or anything still pending, ma? Sir, done, ma? Any more things to be done here? Sir, for every step there is a mark. If you are not writing non-negative factors, gone. They will take around 1 mark. Is 1 mark worthful or worthless? Very, very worthful. Okay. Write the non-negative factors, ma? Sir, whatever book you got there, can you open the first page of linear programming there once? Are there any concept there? Is there any concept, ma? Okay, whatever concept we have discussed in the class, same concept is mentioned there. It is summary of the concepts which we discussed. Okay, and when we are going with a simplex model and all, we will get more clarity there, basically. Okay, and one more thing, ma, in the entire syllabus, basically from the past 3 to 4 attempts, there is no theory question from the part B, basically. And if you go with index, basically the first class which I mentioned there, what is the last topic we are having in this case, ma? Introduction to tools of a DA, data analytics at CMA inter FM and DA. Okay, basically somehow connected to that, somehow. Okay, so that topic will be repeated here and theory part, only theory part here. And one more thing, ma, if you see the paper, I have shown the paper now. From the past 3 attempts, there is no question on linear programming. So you can definitely have a chance to get a question from a linear programming for your attempt. Okay, and to be frank and genuine, I want to give basic information to you that this paper is very, very easy if you are regularly preparing it. Okay, there from the OM, that is DA part, that is part B itself, you got 6 MCQs. 6 into 2, how much, ma? 12 marks. And 3 questions for sure. 3 into 14, 42 plus 12. How many marks, ma? 54 marks. Okay, without taking any pressure, if you are concentrating more on part B, even then you are safe. How many marks are in your hands, ma? 54. It does not mean that you should not study part A. You can also keep efforts on part A. Okay, but which is giving more effort and all. Sorry, are all the guys present for the day 1 class? Day 1 class. Any new guy who is not present for a day 1 class and all? Okay, sir, I have shown the paper. Basically, it's the last attempt paper. Okay, in the last attempt paper, if you go through, from the last topic of part B. Okay, so MCQs are very, very important. And one more thing, normally you are having the practice of studying MCQs at the end, that is before exam, one day before exam. It is of useless thing. At the last, if you are preparing, you may not remember. So my humble request, whenever you are studying after the completion of topic, or at least in the first set of preparation itself, go with MCQs. Okay, if you are getting straight away an MCQ and if you are answering, you'll be safe. Clear? Sir, one more thing. Sir, anyone has toughness regarding project management? Any issue with the project management? If no issue with the project management, you are having how many marks in your hands, mark? 14 marks straight away. Okay, so do not skip those topics. And whatever the class till now done, are you having any doubt? If you are having, you can ask. No doubts, no? Or else I'll go straight away question book. Sir, here only we are having how many topics, ma? 9 topics. What is the reason for the 10th topic being not given here? It is only theory part. And that too, for exam point of view, only go with MCQs. Okay, I will discuss that. I will not leave any topic and all. We will have a full coverage of topics. Okay. There is this question done, ma? Yes. Sir, even though this lengthy process is mentioned here, you can go with our own style, no issues. Okay, same is drafted by us, but for the sake of convenience, that even if a guy who is not attending the class, if he lost the class 1 day or 2 days and all, he can go with this and he will get a client. Okay, is the second question done, ma? Second question not done. Transportation, go through that question, ma, once. Sir, whenever you are seeing the question in your book, do not go through the answer. If you are going through the answer, you are gone. Close the answer or at least see the display portion. Sir, mark this question as most important, ma. When you are preparing and you are having a time constraint, go with these questions. Not all the questions. Because every question will be easy and this will be something different from normal questions. So while revising, give importance to those questions which we mark here. Okay, not all. You do not strike that point. Just I strike it and all. You know strike. Any idea to start the question? Sir, if he is not giving that sentence also, with what assumption you will start this question? No? No. If this sentence formulate the problem and all, if it is not given, How you will start this question? Any idea? Sir, I'm clear with the question now. What I'm asking, is it clear? If this last sentence, that is formulate the problem, is not given, then how you will solve this question now? Any idea, buddies? Any idea? Sir, assume that this is not the first class. Okay, we are somewhere in the sessions. Okay, now read this question without the last point, that is formulate and all. So there is a cement dealer. Okay, he has how many warehouses, ma? Two warehouses, M and N, with stocks of 30,000 and 20,000 bags respectively. Three customers A, B, and C have placed an order for the dealer for 15,000, 20,000, and 15,000 respectively. Okay, so what is the total of these three, ma? How much? What is the total of these two, ma? Is there anything clear to this point? Any guess? Okay, still three customers gone. Okay, cost of transportation for 1,000 bags of cement from different warehouses to different customers are given below, and transportation cost is given there. This part is regarding transportation cost for how many bags, ma? 1,000 bags. The dealer wants to fulfill the order so that the transportation cost is minimum. Anything now? Transportation problem. If that last sentence is not given, how you will solve, ma? Transportation, no? Supply is equal to demand. Sir, supply portion is this, demand portion is this. Is it balanced one? It's a balanced one. So automatically we present in the form of and, we go with a, if not nothing mentioned, we go with a BAM. Am I clear now? But because of this last sentence, what is that last sentence, ma? Formulate the problem, we are going with a linear programming. Am I clear? Is it clear? If it is clear, shall we? So take the notes, ma. Give the question number. Sir, by seeing the question, sir, what is the first point there in the table? Have you made any observation regarding the table part given there? He has given one point there. Cost has been given for on what basis, ma? 1,000 bags basis, and this amount is what, ma? That is the cost there basically. So by seeing this information, he has taken 1,000 bags as one unit. Our question will start from that point. So write that point, ma. Let us assume. If it is clear, next in the question, what he has given, ma? From warehouse M and N, what are the stocks available, ma? 30,000 and 20,000 bags. And who are the customers? A, B, and C. Okay. Now, if we go with assumption that warehouse M supplies X1 units to A. What is the first assumption, ma? Regarding addition variables, X1 be the units supplied to customer A. So from M point of view, we are writing those things. X1 be the number of units supplied to customer A. So automatically X2 will be what now? To customer B. If that part is done, can you tell regarding CMA? Done. That is a turning point here. For that reason, I asked you to mark this question as important. Sir, normally, how many units you can supply from M? Basically, maximum how many you can supply, ma? 30,000 units. But for the sake of 30,000 bags. But for our sake, we have taken 1,000 bag as 1 unit. So how many units, ma? 30 units. Sir, already I supplied X1 here, X2 here. What are still left over, ma? Sir, total how many bags I can supply, ma? 30 units. Already I supplied X1 and X2. What are still left over, ma? 30 minus X1 minus X2. Okay. For this reason, I asked you to mention this as important problem. Even at CMA inter level, there is a problem regarding the shifts of nurses. Shift of nurses. Linear problem, programming problem. 8-hour shift. X1 plus X2, 4 shifts will be different. Is it known to you, ma? Similar Alanti question, Alanti category. Alanti question, Alanti category. So this area should be marked. So write that point, ma. 30 minus X1 minus X2 be the units supplied to customer C. That is the most important aspect here. Is it clear with assumptions, ma? Sir, whatever information is available there, we are framing it logically. Sir, by seeing first time, you will not get that clarity. Okay, I am straight away telling this point, ma. By seeing first instance itself, you will not get this idea. So you are not wrong. That is the scenario of this scenario, basically. So at this point, we should be careful. So in exam point of view, mark this area. This area is most important, basically. Clear, ma? So we may do wrong here. So now by seeing this point, can you tell information regarding N warehouse? N warehouse has how many units, ma? 20,000 units or 20 units or 20,000 bags. So can you give information regarding that? How many bags from N? How many bags? N supplies how many bags to A? Basically. By following the third logic, try to frame other points also. Why? That is appropriate answer. But others, let others also think. How much, ma? Sir, for A, how many bags are required? For A, how many bags are required, ma? 15,000 bags are required. Already from M, how many got, ma? X1. So N will supply how much ma? 15 minus x1 to A. Is it clear? Now, regarding A it is done. What about regarding B ma? By following the same logic. Sir, B requires how many bags ma? 20,000 bags. Sir, already I supplied from warehouse M, I supplied X2. What are still left over there? 20 minus X2 to B. Is it clear, ma? If it is clear, by following the same logic, can you tell regarding C, ma? C is in need of how many bags? 15,000, that is 15 units. Sir, already we supplied some bags to him. That is 30 minus x1 minus x2. So automatically this is the most important point in the entire problem. Am I clear with this area, ma? Sir, first we have gone with assumption of x1 and x2. And the basic step is this. 1 unit is equal to 1000 bags. If you go with that basic point and all, everything will be connected. Sir, how to remember this point, sir? Definitely have to practice. Okay, na? Sir, we are not the guys who frame the question. Na? Okay, this logic and all to apply, have to apply those similar questions and all basically. Okay, even similar type of questions are there at CMA inter level regarding loan amount, regarding share investment and all, how much return we are getting and all. Okay, these are a separate categories of questions where formulation requires some sort of time. Okay, copy done, copy till here. Ma? So N supplied how many and quantities and all, if it done. Sir, can we simplify this part, ma? Can we simplify that part? How to simplify that part? 15 minus 30 plus x1 plus x2, or else still any other option? x1 plus x2 minus 15. Okay, this is the number of bags supplied to C. Sir, everything is clear. Now, what is our objective function? Can be or should be? Objective function, any information? Sir, in the table, what he has given cost, and he asked us straight away to fulfill the orders so that the transportation cost is minimum. Okay, sir, how many bags are transported is clear to us. Now, if you multiply with the cost aspect, what you get, ma? Transportation cost. Okay, so Z, simply let us go the basic calculation. Z, basically transportation cost. Sir, from M, how many units are supplied, ma? X1. Okay, so that is a quantity for M. And for B, how much, ma? X2 is the quantity. And for C, how much, ma? What is the value? Sorry. 30 minus x1 minus x2. So that is the quantity there. Sir, this is regarding quantities. From where to where, ma? From M to all the points, customers and all. Again, we are having other information regarding the from N to the customers. What are those areas, ma? First is 15 minus x1 plus what is the other one, ma? 20 minus x2 plus what is the other one, ma? x1 plus x2 minus 15. These are the three totally 6 units transferred. But for us, cost is given in the table. Sir, by seeing the table, can you tell the cost for transportation from M to A? 40 or 4,000? Sir, 4,000 is for 1 unit. But for the sake of convenience, he removed the zeros. So be careful with this area also. Zeros gone, you got 0. You will get 0. Okay. So into 4,000. What about next area, ma? For B, it is how much, ma? 2,000. For C, how much, ma? How much? 2000. Sir, this is regarding M. What about N? 15 minus x1 into how much? In the table. 2000. And for other thing it is 6000. And last one it is 4000. Okay, it is a lengthy thing, but if you are getting once clarity, it is very easy to. Okay, now. So can you simplify this one ma, by solving all the possibilities? Write it down, write till here ma, and then simplify it once. If you are simplifying, what is the end value there, buddies? What is the value there? So therefore, Z minimization is equal to. So now you can keep the heading, that is objective function. Z minimization is equal to 4000 x1 minus 2000 x2 plus 1,50,000. Sir, this A is regarding what ma? Minimization of what cost ma? Transportation cost. So if this part is done, what is the other areas to be done? Constraints. Sir, we have done the constraints earlier itself. Okay, whatever quantity to be supplied, that is a constraint. That is minimum to be supplied. So the symbol will be greater than or equal to. Okay. So regarding constraints, sir, what is the first constraint, ma? X1, X2, and this three are the constraints. Definitely you have to supply X1 quantity. What does that mean? Either X1 or more than X1. So X1 is greater than or equal to 0, first constraint. Anyway, it is also covered in non-negative factors. So the first constraint is X1 greater than or equal to 0. Okay, and similarly we are supplying X2 quantity to B from M. So automatically X2 greater than or equal to 0. That is second constraint. Sir, what is the third constraint there, ma? 30 minus 30 minus X1 minus X2 should be supplied for sure. So automatically, sir, he has not given any other number. So we are taking assumption as greater than or equal to 0 for sure. So this is the third constraint. Okay. And what are the other constraints, ma? Other constraints. 15 minus X1. Regarding that also should be greater than or equal to 0. And what about next one? X1 after 20 minus X2 greater than or equal to 0. And the last one, X1 plus X2 minus 15 greater than or equal to 0. So these are all the constraints which we are having. Okay. For the sake of convenience, you can rearrange them. Basically, if you want, you can rearrange. How this can be rearranged, ma? Any idea? Basically, we are having the equation of, for example, 3x plus 4y greater than 10. Some scenario. Example. So can you convert this equation into this form? 3x plus 4y. Can you convert? Oh. Minus x1 minus x2 greater than or equal to minus 30 when it is going there. Sir, if you are multiplying with negative sign, this equation can be converted into what, ma? X1 plus x2 less than or equal to 30. Is it clear? So regarding first one, is it clear now? That is constraint. Next constraint, minus x1 minus 15. How it can be converted, ma? By multiplying with the sign x1 less than or equal to 15. Okay. And similarly, if we go with the next one, minus x2 greater than or equal to minus 20. So x2 less than or equal to 20. Okay. And x1 plus x2 greater than or equal to 15. It will not change. Is it clear now? So what are the constraints totally? 1, 2, 3. These are the constraints. Okay. Then if it is done clear, ma? So this problem is taking much time. Once if you are discussing here and all, you may be not getting up to the mark. So you may feel different. So once you go through the problem at your home once, spend some time, 5 to 10 minutes. Even if you are getting doubt, we shall discuss again. Okay. If it is clear, till now we covered all the things. What is the time now, ma? Sir, shall we? What is the time as of now? Time. Still there are 5 minutes. For your convenience, I will explain this once more. Okay, done with writing. So non-negative factors are common. X1, X2, whatever we have taken, that we can take it as greater than or equal to 0. That is common. And here they asked only for regarding formulation. So shall we go with this problem again, ma? Sir, first, the question part is important regarding this problem. Sir, here mainly it is a linear programming question, ma. But however, if the last aspect is not given, that is formulate the problem and all, we go with the transportation way of doing. But as he mentioned straight away, formulate the problem, we are going with a linear programming model. Okay, formulate, the word will be given only for the linear programming problems. Sir, here straight away there are how many warehouses, ma? 2 warehouses, M and N. Okay, and who are the customers we are having, ma? A, B, C are in need of goods. Okay, they are having some sort of limitations, that is 15,000, 20,000 and 15,000. This is the required quantity. That is the basic part. And how much the warehouses can supply, ma? M can supply 30,000, N can supply 20,000 basically. Okay, what is the quantity to be supplied is not given. If it is given, there is no requirement of linear programming at all. So for that sake, we are drafting a linear programming model. So here, and also the cost is given for basis what, ma? 1000 bags basis he gave. So here we are going with assumption that 1000 bags is 1 unit. Is it clear, ma? Next. So this table is giving information regarding which area, ma? Transportation cost. Okay. From M to A, the transportation cost is for 1000 bags, it is 4,000. For 1000 bags, it is amount how much, ma? 4,000. In the similar way, from N to A, what is the transportation cost, ma? 2,000. This is information given. Okay, but this problem basically will be started with an assumption that how much quantity we are supplying from M to A. Okay, what is that assumption I have taken there, ma? X1 with the number of units to be supplied to customer A. Is it clear with that assumption? That is a basic assumption. And even for X2, okay, sir, even X2 also, the regarding quantity is what, ma? Regarding units supplied to customer B. Okay, sir, if there are only 2 customers, in this case, we straight away end here. Straight away we'll write here as this. If there are only 2 customers, but here how many customers, ma? 3 customers. For that sake, we have taken another assumption. If there are only 2 customers, how will write, ma? X1 be the unit supplied to A, and for B how much, ma? 30 minus X1. But is that case here? No, there are 3 customers. But if there are 4 customers, what we will do, ma? X3 will be taken for a C, and for D how much, ma? 30 minus X1 minus X2 minus X3. Is it clear now? Based on that condition, we will change the assumptions. So these are done regarding M. Now regarding N, what is the point, ma? Sir, N is in requirement of how much quantity? He needs 15,000 bags. Already is getting X1 quantity from warehouse M. So what else still we need to supply? That 15 minus X1 balance should be supplied now. What is X1? Do you know that? No. As we are not having the idea of that and all, we are drafting it in the form of equation. That is 15 minus X1 regarding A. What about B, ma? Sir, B is in required of how much quantity? 20,000 units. He is in need of 20,000 units. Already is getting how many bags, ma? X2 from a M. Balance, that is 20 minus X2 is a balance supplied to B from N. Is it clear? Now, what about C? Regarding C, how much? Sir, regarding C, already I gave this many quantity of goods to C. Okay, and what is balance left over for him? He is in need of 15,000 bags. Already I gave this much quantity. So whatever left over should be supplied to C. By that equations we drafted it. And this question is most important. Sir, if these 2 parts are done, entire question is done. Okay, am I clear, ma? Are you clear? If the number of customers are increasing, we take till the last. But for the last one, total minus all the quantities. Clear? And if you go with this Z, sir, these are the quantity supplied. This quantity into transportation cost. Why? Because he is asking to minimize the transportation cost. X1 units into the cost. and x2 units into the cost, and this units into cost. So if you do the total, you will get the transportation cost. Our target is to minimize this transportation cost. So this is the value of the total value. Okay. Once this part is done, we have mentioned the objective function in a simplified manner. Okay. And these are the rules to be followed for sure. So they are forming part of the constraints. Am I clear, ma? Is it clear now? So once you close the book at home, try by yourself, think of the question once. So why we are taking those steps and all, I am clear with that. So if you are having still doubt, I will explain tomorrow also. And is it important or less important? Sir, formulation, you need not see other questions. See this question because others are easy. This is the area where we may make mistake. Clear? Thank you, buddies.